What's going on, y'all? What it is. So let's go ahead and slide on this topic. And this topic is just infuriating in my estimation. So we're talking about Allison Hulker, the widow of DJ tWitch, all right? And so we know that there have been a lot of accusations about his mysterious passing. I brought forth information to you stating that allegedly Ellen DeGeneres had something to do with it because tWitch knew too much. And a lot of people threw Diddy in the mix and things of that nature, right? But anyway, Allison decides to sit down with People, the news publication, and she does this interview because she has a book coming out on February the 4th, and it's called This Far, My Story of Love, Loss, and Embracing the Light. And she's talking about every aspect of her life, talking about her shortcomings and things of that nature, but she stepped in some mud when she started talking about tWitch and the fact that she discovered that he was battling some demons that she didn't know about throughout their marriage. And one of those demons that Allison said tWitch was battling was addiction, allegedly, right? Now, this is very funny to me because she sat down with People and she done this interview, correct? And People was one of the first publications to announce that after DJ tWitch's autopsy results had become public, they found out that there was no or alcohol in his system, right? So when was he battling addiction, right? Not saying that it's true, not saying that it's false, but it sounds like to me that she's trying to cover up for someone or something, and then hell, I'll just go to space with it. Y'all ready to ride with me? Hey, did you set your own husband up? Because it makes me think that you're pulling the finger here, there, and everywhere. But for me personally, it makes me look more at you. Like, what's going on here? Why are you deflecting or trying to defend something, right? Because at the end of the day, that was your husband. And so you should protect his legacy. You don't have to talk about that. Can't you talk about the other things that you and your husband endured during the time y'all were married other than what he was battling with? If you really cared for him and loved him and cared about your children, why are you going to expose that information in your book? Now, Allison did go on to say that her new boyfriend, Adam, put the battery in her back to encourage her to go ahead and write a book and tell her story and tell her truth. But my thing is implementing DJ tWitch's struggles that you claim to have found after he passed. And I want to pose the question, like, what benefit out of this do you gain by talking about his struggles that you really never had to deal with because you claim you didn't know and you found it after he passed? Other than monetary reasons, you're being messy and you know that you're trying to sell this book off the back of tWitch. That's all it is, right? In my estimation, I'm just keeping it all the way a buck. But anyway, I want to play you a snippet of what Allison had to say, and then we're going to get into tWitch's family members because they're scorching her. They are raking her through the coals. They are upset about this, all right? So let me go ahead and play that clip for you, and then I'll be back.
I had dealt with an ex that had addiction problems, and then I realized Steven had addiction problems. There was a moment I was with one of my really dear friends, and we were cleaning out the closet and picking out an outfit for him for the funeral. And it was a really triggering moment for me because there was a lot of things I discovered in our closet that I did not know existed. And it was very alarming to me to learn that there was so much happening that I had no clue. So it was a really scary moment in my life to figure that out.
All right, so you guys just saw and heard all of that. So now what I want to do is turn your attention to a family member of tWitch's that took to Instagram to voice his grievances on how he feels about Allison actually writing the so-called tell-all book and making some disparaging accusations within that book about tWitch. Now, he goes by Zachary Boss Salas on Instagram, so I want you to check out what he had to say.
I just have to say something. You know, I feel like somebody from Steven's natural family should say something. And you know, the last time that I recorded, I pretty much was talking about the NDA, non-disclosure agreement, and how we were asked to sign it in order to see Steven or memorialize him at his funeral. And I'll be honest, you know, I'm not a celebrity. It was very difficult to navigate the whole concept of having to sign a piece of paper in order to see my cousin, whom I loved and valued. And so that was very difficult. But the entire time that we were asked to sign that NDA, the rhetoric was that we were doing so to protect his legacy. And as I stand today and I hear what's in the news and I see what's going on today, I refuse to believe that NDA, the reasons why we were asked to sign the NDA, had any merit, because there's nothing that happened today that was meant to protect his legacy. And, sadly, it's just a time where we're having to peel back the layers and see just a tidbit of what Stephen had to endure. And being that none of us, the family, for a person to be married to somebody that committed suicide, and then that person supposedly found a shoebox, disclose the contents of the shoebox with the entire world, then read that your loving husband's journal, private personal journal, and then share the contents of that with the world, it's very difficult to believe that you have any interest in protecting his legacy. And you have kids. You're always talking about how you're so concerned with how the family moves and the things that is being said on our personal pages. But you can go straight to the source and find out that you're delivering contents of shoeboxes. So let me ask the question, who stands to gain from this? Is it the world, or is it you? Because nobody benefits from you supposedly dropping dimes about your late husband. Honestly, that's the weirdest energy. It's weird. We all know that knew Stephen, that loved him. When he died, we all showed him honor. We've all showed him appreciation. We've given him tributes. We've given him posts. You can carry on the charade with the public world, but we know exactly who you are. We see you. We dialed you up. And at the end of the day, you can act like however you want to act. You can be as Hollywood as you want to be, but you still got to live with yourself. Do you like what you see in the mirror? A liar? A narcissist? For what? You leverage Stephen's death to elevate yourself. It's sad. It's sad, and I just know it needs to be said, and I don't know who's gonna say it. I don't know, but it's me. It's me, and Stephen was somebody. He was great. He was remarkable. He was talented. He was gifted. He was nurturing. He was respectful. He was mindful. And I know 100% that if the shoe was on the other foot, he wouldn't be revealing the contents of your shoebox with the world. And your journal would be intact with him, because he'd have respect and honor for who you were. Much better than I can say for you.
All right, so you guys just saw and heard all of that. Now, we're about to step in some mud because a friend of the family, I believe her name is Courtney and Platt, she basically stepped up to the plate and she has entered the chat. And this is what she had to say. She said, "I was there the moment you both connected. I was there the day you got engaged. I stood by your side on your wedding day. I was in your home the day he died. I was by your side because your husband was my family. It didn't matter how often we spoke, how often we saw each other, we bonded forever. This is by far the most tacky, classless, opportunistic act I've ever seen in my entire life. We all had to sign some weird NDA to attend his funeral. Even his own mother, who you treated like garbage this entire time. Let's just remember you wouldn't have even had a husband if it wasn't for her. not to share anything or ruin his name as if that was on anyone's mind in the first place. And here you go and write a book with all the dirty laundry, smearing his name and attempting to dim the bright, loyal, loving light that was your husband, my friend. Whether any of it is true or not is actually beside the point. This is how you protect the boss name you so quickly dropped on your social media platforms 48 hours after he passed. His legacy, this is how you protect his children from any humiliation, hurt, and despair. This is what you want them to remember about him. You have moved on. You're living your life. You're on every carpet you can get on, every celebrity role you can sit in, every magazine you can be in, and you needed to do this. Get a journal, a therapist, a friend, but publishing a book shamelessly, sharing the pages of your husband's journal? People magazine? What a joke. Yes, he did himself in, and I'm paraphrasing there. You guys can read what it actually says, which is a fact all of us still can't fathom, and he was clearly having mental issues, hurting so deeply, and this is your example of empathy, of your love. This smear campaign for a buck is absolutely not what he would have ever wanted, no matter how bad he was hurting. Not for a second. You're a living, breathing bulldozer. Stick to your own demons. Shame on you, Allison. Shame on your money-hungry team. Let my friend rest in peace, not your PR. Now, another interesting thing that I want to share with you all is that Twitch has a cousin that's on Twitter, and basically she was going in too, but she was saying the same thing that I basically just read, so I don't want to repeat myself, but she did make an interesting point when she was asked this question. This person says, wait, she had y'all sign NDAs at the funeral before y'all walked in, or she sent it another way prior to the funeral? And Big Ellie responds and says, as we walked in, they were being passed out. How disrespectful is that? Now, Twitch's brother, Dre Rose, has responded on his Instagram stories. Now, I can't get to it because his account is private. I don't know if he made it private overnight or whatever the case may be, but it says, and Courtney wasn't alone in her feelings as Dre shared her post to his Instagram stories, adding no lies told. He also reposted an Instagram story by Katie Paulson, who called Allison a disgrace and despicable human to do this to a grieving family. So it's not hard to tell that this situation right here has struck a nerve with Twitch's family, and they're standing on business. They're speaking out against Allison. And I just think it's despicable and horrible on so many levels that she decided to do this. Yep, just like I said in the beginning of the video, I feel like this is a ploy to make some money off the passing of her husband, and it's just sad that people will stoop so low just to do that. And I personally believe that even though Allison's new boyfriend is a CEO, I believe that he's the one pushing her to do this. She may want to do it anyway, but I believe he gave her the confidence and the fortitude to move forward to push this book out there telling all of Twitch's business. That's just my personal opinion. Now I want to hear from you guys. Drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about this entire situation. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and if you're new here, consider subbing to the channel. I'll get with you guys later. Have a fantastic day. Peace.